stunning bombshell of a story today as the president of Haiti, Moïse, is assassinated at his house. Lots of questions here, but now we have footage of the attack of these people who were saying they were DEA agents. But were they? Who was involved? What happens next? These are the two big questions we're going to tackle today. Plus a statement from Joe Biden on Haiti that may show where we go next. It's going to blow your mind. Don't miss anything today on this video. Haiti President Jovenel Moïse's assassination was partially caught on video. This is just leaking out now. Here's what it says. The assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse appears to have been partially caught on camera, with dramatic clips revealing the sound of multiple gunshots and scenes of armed men following the ambush. DEA operation. Everybody stand down. Somebody with an American accent is heard saying in English. You're going to hear that in just a moment over a loudspeaker and footage first shared by the Miami Herald. Now, why the DEA would be involved in assassinating the president of Haiti that is aligned with the U.S. government and aligned with the Biden administration, well, that's just beyond me. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Whoever was doing this was pretending to be American. You can hear it in the accent that you're just about to hear. But the Drug Enforcement Agency, even if it was them, it would not, even if it was Americans, it wouldn't be the DEA. So let's listen into these people pretending to be the DEA, very likely. You hear that? There's like, it's like somebody's faking an American accent, almost like a cowboy accent. Listen. Everybody. It sounds like they're trying to fake an accent there. Now here's as the attack was underway. These are the mercenaries that did assassinate the president of Haiti. Quite a bit of gunfire. We're going to go into the driveway in just a moment with some video and photos and some more of the gunfight. Heavy gunfire. So that was the attack actually on the compound. Here is outside immediately after. You're going to see somebody laying on the ground, and you're going to see a lot of vehicles. You hear the sound of an alarm from a vehicle. There is a photograph of the assassinated president of Haiti. I'm not going to show that to you here. Very, very grisly and explicit. You see a lot of armed folks on the streets. How there was not better security at the president of Haiti's house is so beyond me right now. Remember, in Haiti, you have a struggle for power. You have a president who's backed up, propped up by the U.S. government, who was never elected, who many say should have been out of power last year. You also have a prime minister, so there's a struggle for power there. And in fact, there's two people saying that they're prime minister right now. A power vacuum leads to bad things. To that and Joe Biden's shocking comments that may show us where we're headed next in just a moment. The Haitian President Jovenel Moïse killed by a group claiming to be DEA agents. You just heard that. They said they had high-caliber weapons, and these people who were speaking in Spanish at some point attacked the private residence of the president of the republic and mortally wounded him. His wife was also injured. Early reports said that his wife may have been killed in the attack. Now we're kind of back and forth on that. It appears that she is still alive. This is the vehicle that was in the driveway of Moïse, the president of Haiti that was assassinated. You see gunshots, bullet holes, smashed windows. Clearly a lot of shots fired. You heard that. Now you see on the driveway, those are shell casings, spent shell casings from this firefight. These people were professionals who pulled this off. A lot of activity involved as an investigation begins. More spent shell casings there. Some items potentially left behind by the folks who were responsible for this. As of now, it's very unclear as to exactly who was involved. Some more photographs from Andulo Images. This is another shot of that SUV all riddled with bullet holes. This is the driveway to his house, which was clearly not secured properly. Some more spent shell casings and another shot outside. Haiti is in a tough spot right now, in upheaval, as President Moïse was assassinated at home. Right now, the normally bustling streets of the capital, Port-au-Prince, were empty and quiet. Sporadic gunshots were heard in the distance. Public transportation was scarce, and some people searched for businesses that were open to food and water. Businesses had been ransacked in one area earlier, so there's some looting going on. Bouchet Edmond, the Haitian ambassador to the United States, said the attack on the 53-year-old was carried out by foreign mercenaries. He's speculating these are foreign mercenaries and professional killers, well orchestrated. He said they were masquerading as agents of the DEA. Again, why choose the DEA as your scapegoat? They would never be involved in this. The DEA has an office in the Haitian capital to assist the government in counter-narcotics programs, according to the U.S. Embassy. But they would be in line with the president, very likely, on these cases. So what happens next before this Biden clip from the past? You've got Robert Fatton, a professor at the University of Virginia, talking about he thinks the U.S. could end up in Haiti. We just got out of Afghanistan. Is the U.S. military headed for a ground operation in Haiti? This could look an awful lot like Mogadishu in Somalia if things play out this way. Let's see what the professor has to say.
Well, I assume that foreign powers will be very worried about the situation in Haiti, in particular the United States. And as we know, in the previous 20 or 30 years, the UN and the United States, and actually France, had sent troops to Haiti because of political uncertainty and instability. So if things get bad, I would assume that you would probably have another intervention, although Haitians are very worried of those foreign interventions because many claim that it is indeed those interventions that have led to the situation that we have now.
So they're saying, he's saying at least, that there could be some U.S. or UN or perhaps even French boots on the ground in Haiti. What will the Biden administration do? Well, maybe this is a signal of how Biden feels. It's certainly how he felt at one point in time. This is a clip from Joe Biden, the now president, in 1994, talking about Haiti.
If Haiti, a god-awful thing to say, if Haiti just quietly sunk into the Caribbean or rose up 300 feet, it wouldn't matter a whole lot in terms of our...
So one more time, as Haiti hangs in the balance.
If Haiti, a god-awful thing to say, if Haiti just quietly sunk into the Caribbean or rose up 300 feet, it wouldn't matter a whole lot in terms of our interest.
It wouldn't matter a whole lot to our interests. I'm sure his views have changed quite a bit since 1994. After all, that's quite some time ago, coming up on 3 decades. And we now have to wait and see exactly what happens here. Obviously, a lot of violence, a chaotic scene at the house of the president of Haiti who has been assassinated. You've now seen the footage. What do you think happens next? Give me your thoughts in the comments below. And there is, again, a photograph of the president just full of blood, and it's an absolute horror to see. I won't share that with you here, but just know that it is floating around out there. If you want to spread the word, hit the share button on this video. I appreciate that greatly. And if you're new around here, take a second, please, and hit the follow button at facebook.com/thenewsjunkie. Hit follow and you'll get videos just like this every single day. Over on youtube.com/thenewsjunkie. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to you again real soon.